Actually, I'm very thankful to Dr. He's supposed to speak there. He's this place to be. That's a great honor. Thank you very much. I would like to honor and regard Puja Pathology. Nama Hardik Pranam. And I know Kannada because I was born in Gujarat. And my father was trained, he took in teacher's training, he was a teacher, and he was a master in Azher school, both Kannada and Urdu medium. And he did his teacher's training in Kannada. And he was from Bollywood. And Shri Basuraj, this, sir, and I would really, and I would like to tell you one thing in this. I'm so proud that Niranjan Nishti, who was my classmate, he's the Vice Chancellor of Session-1 University. I'm so glad. And you know, this used to be SV college. And it was up on the hill. And I always somehow I dreamt that one day this is going to be the Vishwavidyalaya. And now I'm so proud as a university. You are seeing the pictures. And you know, all these intellectuals, the young generation, the future of our country. I'm so proud of you also. I'm not going to take much time because continuously I will be speaking first session and second session. And today I will guarantee you, because most of you I think are BEd college students. Am I right? Yes, sir. And also teachers, members. For everybody, this will be a learning, two learning sessions. And I will challenge and I will guarantee you that you will never going to have this type of education which I am going to give you.
This is my house. Well, you see these colorful trees, and this is the autumn, fall. When the leaves fall, they change color. Okay? At the end of this presentation, I will show you how it looks in the snow, when it is all covered by snow. This is a Sharnbasva. And that is my father I was mentioning to you. He was the headmaster for the Shabazar High School, and he studied through Karnataka and did teachers training too, and he's no more, and he was my teacher too. Well, these are the objectives we are going to learn today. Okay? I'm not going to go each and every one, but these are the objectives. Well, basically, I'm going to pay attention on neuroscience and strategies. You see, everywhere is the brain, and so basically, education is science. BA is a science subject. It's you. Many of you has done BA and done BA, BSc and BA. Am I right? How many of you are BEd students here? Can you raise your hand? Quite a few. My God, I'm so happy. Once upon a time, I was in your place. Well, Okay. The first question, as you know, it is given in the main theme of our today's topic, 21st century. Are we preparing for 21st century our children? Are we? This is a big question. And now, to work with children, you are not working with the eyes of the children, not with the ears of the children. What are you working with? Say louder. My God, you still didn't sleep. Even after having that heavy lunch, I'm so happy. Okay? So, learning and teaching is the function of human brain. You teach brain, you do not teach ears. In India, what do? We teach ears. So what happens? It goes in here, comes out of there. Isn't it? When you were students, you felt it. Okay? So we have to understand the science within the brain to work with the brain. Who you are working with? Brains of the students. Okay? Children. You will be amazed. Children are scientists. When you were a child, you were a scientist. As you grow old, you became unscientist. Pin drop silence. As if the teacher is going to drop the pin and listen. Is this pin drop silence or not? When child is learning, is the child silent? How can you learn when you are silent? You cannot. He said, what is that, mom? Why cat doesn't have to brush? Why we have to brush in the morning? You wake me at 6 o'clock and send me to school at 7 o'clock. Why? They talk and talk. All those questions have curiosity. So, child has innate curiosity. What is innate? Built in. Everybody is with me? So they have the built-in natural curiosity, and that curiosity teaches it, and they learn through that curiosity. And that curiosity is intrinsic, it creates intrinsic motivation. When I say everybody use the word motivation. There are two types of motivation. Intrinsic, which is built in, like innate, and there is another one, extrinsic. Everybody knows extrinsic motivator. He comes, the motivational speakers are not like Dr. Azher. They take 2 lakh rupees at the most. Just to give a motivational speech. And myself, zero. Because I want you to learn. They are not here. Extrinsic motivators, they come, they give motivational speech, you shake your head, oh, this is great, and all those things, and afterwards you go back to the same strategy of teaching. Did it help? No. And there was studies done on motivational speeches, and they found out that they do not help. Then how does internal motivation happen? When the child knows, he uses his curiosity and gets involved in learning. I will give an example. Why kids love sports? Everybody, oh, let's go for games and sports. They come running. You know why? Because they are involved. When they get involved, then internal motivation is stimulated. You have to make the students internally motivated. And today, I'm going to talk a lot about this. And when I'm saying external motivation, please write it down. When I'm saying internal motivation, please make notes, because you are going to forget. Now you are completely focused. I see even the backbenchers, everybody is focused to me. Even after that heavy lunch and rice, sambar, everything. We are good, okay? And I'm going to tell you what to eat in lunch. Since I'm talking about lunch, the students should bring protein. Most of the lunch, like parathas, wheat. Wheat has more protein in it, and chana, those peas or any kind of seeds. Today we had that. So that and never ever jalebi. My God. My brother had 2 jalebis. He took mine too. And carbohydrates, sugars put you to sleep. Rice has more sugar. And actually the outside coating, the skin of that rice is brown. And that's why called brown rice when it is not grinded. So the grinded rice is the worst because it has more carbohydrate. Don't give them in lunch this. All right. So let's go back. So curiosity is intrinsic motivation. And this causes deep learning. And there is a chemical which is responsible for that. And this is called dopamine. All amines are proteins. Now you understand why we have to eat lunch with proteins. Acetylcholine. Got it? Clap if you want to enjoy it. So dal is rich in protein. If you are vegetarian, go ahead and eat as much dal as every day you eat dal. And I love dal too. And people say biryani, no, give me dal. All right. So the dopamine is released, and dopamine is called feel good protein. And what it is in your nerve cells, there are junctions, dendritic, and I'm going to show you the picture. And in that, neurotransmitter substances are released. And those neurotransmitter substances is acetylcholine, serotonin, and the one I'm talking is dopamine. Okay? Is everybody, did you write down dopamine? What it does? It motivates you internally. Okay? Not you, even you. Okay. Now let's go. What is the natural ability of the child's learning? She is smart. She took a picture of my slide. Why I should write? Now we have a cell phone. Let's take a picture. So well, some digital people are here. Good. That doesn't matter. So what the child does is explores, experiment. And this is effortless and it is autonomous. Autonomous means automatically it comes from inside. You don't have to do it. They will do by themselves. Okay, don't touch that iron. It's hot. You think he will listen to you? Experiment and explore. Go and touch. After that, he will never touch because he learned. That's the way students learn. But we never use experimentation, exploration in our classrooms. Do we do that? No. Open your book, read science. Science is for doing, it's not for reading. And so with that, let's go. This is, I don't know how many of you know spaghetti. Spaghetti is like cylindrical, wheat, made out of wheat. You know how you have stevia? but these are thick, and they boil, and you eat with some kind of tomato sauce or something. So these stick like those structures. They are spaghetti. And marshmallow. Marshmallow is a spongy, edible material. Okay, and it is soft. So if you want to poke it, you can poke it in. So Harvard MBA students were given a task, and primary school students given a task. What task? Let us see who built the tallest tower with this spaghetti and marshmallow. Yes. Who made the tallest tower? Harvard University students or elementary school students? Yes. Say loud. She said, I could hear. She said elementary school students. You know why? Because they have innate, intrinsic motivation, and they try everything because they are explorers. Whereas when you have more education, you have fixed brain. No, no. I'm not going to do like that. But on the other hand, elementary students, why not do like this in America? To turn on the lights, the switch you put down, isn't it? Turn on the switch downward. There, it is upward. Here, you go on left side of the road. There, they go on right side. They want to try. And of course, they are successful. So we don't want to try. We even don't question formulas. I will give you an example. A plus B whole square. What is it? How do you expand? I knew that. Everybody will shout. A square plus B square plus 2AB. Or some people will a little bit modify. A square plus 2AB plus B square. Oh, when it is minus, what we have to do? Okay, minus 2AB. Why are you doing it? Why are we learning? What is the use of learning? Have you ever applied in your life? Have you? Say louder. Then why we have to learn? We do not question. I will tell you another thing. Science. We knew, Belgium candle experiment. Yeah, she said, yes, sir. How about you? Everybody remembers that? A kid, science fair kid in United States disproved that this is wrong. Our students didn't do it because we don't let them think. We want them to memorize as it is. This is the biggest problem. In Belgium Experiment, what you do, you take a sink of a water in the sink, and you take a candle and put it in the water, and you take the bell jar, and then the candle is in the bell jar, and inside is the water, isn't it? Am I right? So, and you light up that candle. When the top is open, then you put a stopper on the top. What happens? The candle is put away. The lighted candle goes off. Am I right? What happens to the water level? It rises. And you see, oxygen was utilized, and that was the portion of oxygen. That is the conclusion. Am I right? Everybody? This kid said, this is not possible. You know why? Matter whether they are in a gas state, liquid state, or solid state, cannot be destroyed. Oxygen converts into carbon dioxide. It's a gas. It should be the same. You know what he did? He devised another devised another bell jar, and he connected the wick of the candle on the top with a coil, which becomes red and lights up. Okay, so he closed the top of the bell jar completely so that air is not going in and not coming out. And then he turned on the switch and the candle lights up. And after some time, it goes up. And he looks at the level of the water. Doesn't rise. Huh. What is your conclusion? The conclusion is a gas, which was oxygen, and also there was carbon dioxide. And it changed into carbon dioxide, and it remained the same. So he said that that is wrong. Oxygen completely cannot be destroyed. And why our students do not have that ability? Because we do not have internal motivation. Got it? All right. When a teacher teaches, his or her brain of that teacher should think the same as the student's brain. Okay? If you are thinking this object, the student should think similar object in the brain. Then only a smooth transfer of the knowledge goes from you as a teacher to the student. If I write here on the blackboard, house, everybody is thinking about house. Am I right? Everybody. But is that house same as your house? Somebody is thinking like this. Is that same as your house? What teacher is thinking? No. Why not? Because your house may be having 3 windows, maybe 2 rooms, but it's still your house. And you are a kid who comes from a hut, doesn't have any windows, but that is your house. So when you are teaching, make sure what you teach, the same is taught by the student. All right? Good. You can open a little backlight so that I can see their faces, how many of them are sleeping. You know, when you turn on the lights, that's the best time to go to sleep. And it stimulates your eyes and brain to, go to sleep. They didn't like when you turn off the light. So they're leaving. So, no, they will come back. The natural calls are there. So I'm not going to hold you up for it. All right. So now, listen to this. Learning, when does learning occur? When teaching brain and learning brain are in balance. If your teacher's brain is very high and learning brain is very low, there is no transfer of knowledge. When does it happen? I will tell you. We have a tendency in India to dump higher grade subjects to lower grades. Okay, particularly private schools. You know what they do? They want to show that their quality of education is better. And they tell the parents, you know what? We teach nervous system in 5th grade. And you go, they teach in 9th grade. But are those students learning your nervous system? As a medical student, I learned nervous system. And this poor kid is going, is that a kid who is first grader can learn multiplication? No, because his brain, his cognitive development of the brain is not that much developed. So it is very important. We should teach according to the cognitive development of the brain. Okay? So remember this. Now, this is what happens. Can somebody read? This is the teacher. She said, write down H2O. Are you enjoying? Because kids think differently. It depends on their ability of the brain. Okay? The brain is not that much developed. So he's thinking H2O. Is he wrong? No, that is right. You know, he's right. Well, and madam is upset that he did wrong. Well, every day we try to teach, teachers try to change the human brain. But the more they know about how it learns, the more successful they can be. So first thing in our B.Ed, D.Ed, M.Ed, and all the faculty members or the teachers, professors in the universities, they should know how brain learns. This is, we call neuroscience of learning and teaching. Do they teach in B.Ed, B.Ed, M.Ed? What do they teach? Psychology of education. Oh, that is antique. You know, once in a while you see how an antique car going, you laugh at it. Look at this, you know, that is antique, ancient. Greek philosophers. You know, I will give a good joke of a Greek philosopher named Socrates. Everybody knows Socrates' name? Raise your hand. Wow. Socrates, he was a great philosopher. Okay. And everybody, you know, thought he's the greatest scientist born in those days. You know what he said? I'm seeing a lot of ladies here. Gents, don't smile, okay? Don't laugh when I'm going to say. So Socrates said, ladies have less intelligence. My God. Can you believe that? But nobody questioned him. He was a great scientist. And he has to give the reason. You know what reason he gave? Ladies have less number of teeth than gents. That's why they have less intelligence. He has many wives, by the way. Those famous people have, you know that what I'm saying. So if they may not have legal one, they will have 3-4 others. He could have gone and asked them to open their mouth and counted the teeth. Probably his teeth were less because so many wives might have punched him and a lot of teeth were knocked down. So what I'm trying to say, experimentation is very important. When kids learn, they explore and experiment. And in our classroom, we do not let them do it. Remember this, all right? So on each slide, I can give one full day lecture, but I'm not, there are hundreds of slides. So imagine how many days you are going to be here. Are you ready? Are you ready? Come on, somebody should say no. Anything you learned 2 years ago is already an old information. Those who did B.Ed 2 years ago, already a lot of new information has come. When I learned B.Ed, philosophy of education, psychology, still that is going on, still it is in the same. 30 years ago. Many times it changed. Now, remember this, neuroscience is exploding. So there should not be psychology of education. It should be neuroscience of education. All right? At the time of psychology of education, brain was a black box. Brain was a black box. What do you say? Why do you say black box? Because you don't know what is inside, isn't it? So at that time, when we were learning psychology of education, we didn't know what is in the brain. We knew what is input, what you are teaching, and what is coming out, what is output. We teach here, and output, we give assessments, test whether the student has scored high or not. That is our assessment. If you scored high, you did a better input job. But what goes on in here, nobody knew. And now, you know what? fMRI. How many of weird students here heard the word fMRI? We should change our faculty, professors, and all. Renovate them. You know how your old cars, so you paint them and renovate. So we have to renovate them. Or they should cope up with the new knowledge to teach. Recently, new education policy, everybody knows about NEP. On that side, I'm not hearing much loud up. Maybe I'm very close to you. They are saying, have you heard about NEP? Good. And in NEP, they are talking about preschool. Preschool starts at what age? This side, he showed 3-year-old. So up to kindergarten, you can teach. But how many of our professors, faculty members have the expertise of a specialty, a degree or a PhD in preschooling? How we are teaching everybody same thing. In America, the education certificate is given for first grade and second grade separate, third and fourth grade separate, preschool separate. If you ask the teacher who is teaching first and second grade, go and take fifth grade, that teacher won't go. Say, I cannot teach. If you tell fifth grade teacher, go and teach preschool kids, she can't. She cannot manage. Because exactly how to handle these young brains. I'm using the word brains. Unless you learn neuroscience of that preschool brain, Anganwadi. Preschool, we do for meals. Just feed them. There is no teacher there. Okay? So, fMRI, it is called F, small f is for functional. How did we know? Because now we have new gadgets. And MRI, everybody knows MRI. When you have headache, you go and take MRI. And sometimes it's misused so often that people who got little, you could have given aspirin or something else, they write MRI. MRI means magnetic resonance imaging. All right? So what you do, this is a collar, okay? And this emits, this is a big magnet. This is electromagnetic machine. It penetrates into deeper structures, soft structures like brain, okay? And here, what happens? You put this collar on, and here a kid is there, and maybe there is another picture here. No, not that. Okay, so we asked this kid or this lady, count numbers 1 to 10. And meanwhile, the MRI, what it does is, when nerve cells is stimulated, the nerve cells consume energy. And that energy is consumed by utilizing, oxygen or glucose. We can tag glucose and see in the brain where that glucose is going, where that oxygen is going, and which nerve cells are lighted up. So you can actually, when somebody is counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, some part of the frontal brain is lighted up. But when you are asked to reverse count the other way, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and you are thinking now. And let's see which part of the brain is lighting up. And there are portions in this brain, different portions, which are lighting up. So that's how now that black box has been opened. There is a lot of research has been done. Our universities, like Basveshwar University here, should have one fMRI. So the education department can do a lot of research, a lot of papers can come out of this. So we want our undergraduates, graduates, and postgraduates to learn, how the brain works. Come up with new ideas. Show us, what new findings are there. And this psychology, in 1960s, this psychology and behavior and all, see how this change. And still we talk about taxonomy, don't you? And multiple intelligence, I was shocked. People are giving lectures here about MI. Multiple intelligence is obsolete. Nobody talks about multiple intelligence. Those are all postulations, hypotheses. We don't even talk about those things. Why? In 1990s, we came up with MRI, CAT scan, and now MRI, fMRI, and there are more nuclear magnetic resonance, NMRIs. So different gadgets. Now, this is, when I'm talking to you, I want to see this whole classroom brain compatible with my brain. It's compatible with your brain, should be compatible with my brain. So the classroom should be brain compatible. If it is not brain compatible, there is no learning. Okay? So there are many factors that affect learning. And these are all those factors which affect learning. School start time. Are you understanding? Is everybody with me? I'm going to tell the reason. In America, it's at 7 o'clock. So when you wake up your kids, 6 o'clock, somebody said 5 o'clock, 5:30, and poor kid, he can't sleep. And you wake up, come on, get up. Oh, come on. It's time to go to school. Then he turns on the other side and sleeps. You drag him virtually and put him in the bathroom. And you know what? On the toilet, he sleeps. That's the true story I'm telling you. So the younger the kid, the more they sleep. Like babies, when they wake up, when they wet their pamper, or when they feel hungry. Otherwise, they go back to sleep. The more they sleep, the more they learn. I'm telling you, this is the truth. Have you ever heard about REM sleep? Anybody? How much money I have? REM sleep. I have $500. So can somebody give me $100? Not $100. I'm sorry, rupees. REM sleep. This so 100. Okay. Well, 100 rupees. What is REM sleep? Don't Google it, okay? Oh, I knew that. Google is smart. We are what? Google is smart. Well, anybody? Google one. Now that time limit is gone. REM, rapid eye movement sleep. Put it down. REM sleep. You must have seen when somebody is sleeping, their eyeballs are moving, eyelids are closed, babies particularly, and sometimes they smile, sometimes they cry, eyes are closed. In rapid eye movement, whatever that day the kid has learned, remember that he touched the iron, hot iron? He learned something. When he goes to sleep, that fixes in his brain. Sleep, particularly nocturnal sleep, is very important. Are you learning? Are you learning? Say louder. Why the voice always comes from this side louder than that side? Because my ear is okay. All right. So they did a study. This doesn't come to our mind. Our faculty members, undergraduates, graduates of education, it doesn't come to their mind, this research. You know what they did? Instead of opening the school every day at 7 o'clock, let's switch it to 8 o'clock and see the effect. They did a big research. Simple. It doesn't come to our mind. You know why? Because we are not trained to do research. For a long time, I said, please, in curriculum of B.Ed and D.Ed, put action research. It took so many years. Now they have put action research. Am I right? Now there is action research. I don't know if you have or not. That's what I heard. But still, we do not have basic research. Basic research is through fMRI, through what they here in changing the time. They found out that the students are interacting much more in the classroom. And if they were given assessment quizzes, they are very sharp and they are getting higher scores. Just they had 1 hour more sleep that made so much difference. Okay? And then if I keep on going, I will take another 6 months to finish up this slide. Because each point has a lot of research behind. Got it? So much knowledge is in. Sometimes, what they do whenever I go to lectures and seminars and workshops, sir, yeah, I want your comment. I thought, okay. But They can get all those points, but there is so much information behind each point, they cannot. Only Dr. Azher has to come and explain. All right? It's okay. You take those. For you, it is good. You know what? Because you already heard me. So when you look at the school start time, you all of it think about, okay, what happened in 1 hour if the school starts late, then there is good improvement in learning. Okay? Now, teaching strategies is very important. I'm going to talk a little bit later. Assessment method. Assessment method, your test, you assess, okay, how much the kids have learned. I'm not going, there are so many methods, it will take another 6 months for me to tell you. Classroom environment, like for example, if there are no fans here, I have to take out my coat. And sometimes I take out my jacket and tell them, you know what, if I may take out my jacket, still my knowledge will remain the same. It won't change. So, but if I'm feeling too hot, sweating, I'm not focused. The students are not focused. And very often you don't let the students go and bring the water. You say like this, hey, sit down. Poor guy, he will pee right there. He cannot focus. So that is the physical environment. There is internal environment. In the brain, if you are not teaching in a brain-based education is not there. When brain compatible classroom is not there, then the kids are not there. So that is also an environment. Okay? Discipline policies, I'm not going to go and, because I have a lot to say. Now, what is happening here from that side? Anybody? What is going on the left side and on the right side? What is happening here? Did you say that these kids are bored? They are not paying attention. Who is in front of these kids? A teacher. This classroom is teacher focused, not student focused. They are focused somewhere else. And how about this? Happy faces, very curious, facial expression. They are trying to do something. Am I right? And where is the teacher? In the back. That's where you should be. And you must be happy. Oh, it's good. I'm going to sleep in the back. No, they won't let you sleep. Got it? Everybody? Are you enjoying? Is it the best seminar or best teaching class you have ever had? Say louder. I get motivated now. I got internal motivation. So this is what we called, you write it down, please. A strategy. I was talking about teaching strategies. A strategy which works with the students, even adults, leave about students. A strategy which works is called hands-on, hands-on, inquiry-based. Hands-on, inquiry-based. What these kids are doing, she is putting something together. And this kid is enjoying. Dopamine is releasing. Feel good, hormone. And that kid is very curious. Hey, what? Then this kid will participate in this and they'll say, no, let's do this. Amy, why don't you put upside down and see what happens? And all these classrooms are very noisy. What we say in our classrooms, Pin, drop, silence. How kids are going to learn when there is pin, drop, silence? They will keep coming to the teacher and ask questions here. Man, teacher, it didn't work. I tried this way, that. And teacher never had a rest in this class. But she will enjoy it. And you do action research. What is most effective strategy of teaching and learning? See how I'm mixing so many things, what I'm teaching. All right. So now, brain has nerve cells. You have nerve cells? You have nerve cells too. How they look like? This. Have you ever learned this in your beard and beard? No, BSc. Right. So now we have to learn unit of the brain, which is nerve cell. And this is a nerve cell, and it has cytoplasm, it has nucleus, and these are called dendrites, and this is axon, and these are axon terminals. I will show you a simple thing, how you could remember. What is this? My hand. What are these? Dendrites. My God, you are so smart. You got a lot of dendrites. Okay, you too. Because they are closer, that's why I'm looking at them. And that's why they're not sleeping, because I'm close. You can sleep a little bit. So, and this one is axon. And this one is the body of the neuron. It has the nucleus. There are three neurons. First neuron is in your brain. Second goes in your spinal cord. Third one goes to the periphery. So when my neuron in the brain says, go and pick up that remote control, I picked it up. How the message from the brain neuron went to the spinal cord, and the spinal cord to the muscle. And muscle got the message, hey, you flex, you extend. When I did this extension, and when you are holding this, there are so many little muscles that are activating and they are coordinating together. Have you ever imagined if one of that muscle doesn't work, what will happen? You cannot function good. You may pick up, but it is not very fine movement. Okay. So, and these axons are myelinated. These are fat cells. It's like when you have electric wires, the metallic portion is inside. Outside is plastic, isn't it? Which is non-conductor of the electricity. The myelin is non-conductor of electricity. When this cell activated, it negatively charged become positively, and that transfers and it goes at the end. And there are synapses at the end. And these synapses release, there are vesicles, and this acetylcholine is in this vesicle, and it gets biochemical substance. It releases and goes and attaches to the receptor on the other side of the neuron. So actually the message, go and pick up that remote control. The message which came from the frontal brain traveled through this neuron, and the chemicals released, they do not touch. Actually, the message flows through the chemicals and stimulates the receptors, whether it is dopamine, acetyl. These are called neurotransmitter substances. Like how your car has a transmitter, because the engine, from the engine, the transmitter transfers the movement to the wheels, then wheel moves. This is what it is. These chemicals are neurotransmitter substances. If you do not have these, you will have problems. Okay? Now, how do we learn? Like kids, children, a small infant, you give him a rattle, junjuna, what he will do first? He shake and put it in the mouth. Because smell, he will throw that thing. So they learn with all the five. In the classroom or outside the classroom, if you use more than one senses, that kid will learn fast. And that learning memory will never fade. Okay? Remember this. Now, every time you learn something, tell me when is my next session starting? Tell me, okay? I can talk like hours together like this. And you will be listening hours together because I have a trick which I always apply. Tell me when my next session, okay? Then I can quickly, or say 10 minutes, 15 more minutes, or something like that. How many more minutes I have? Oh, well, you are. So this is a neuron. When neuron learns something, the dendrites proliferate. See these dendrites? The two fingers become side branching. You know, like fingers, side branch. And if you learn more, even side secondary branches, tertiary branches. So dendrites and axons also proliferate and they try to connect like this. So many. So the more connections you develop, neuronal connections you develop, the more information is acquired by the brain. More you more learn. See here. See here on this neuron has more dendrites and axons. So this one is this person who has this type of neurons has learned more. Now, well, time for what? 100 rupees. What bird is this? Quick, no googling. Well, you cannot do. Quick check. What bird is this? Come on. Say something. It doesn't matter, it's wrong. That's how you learn. You don't have to be right. Oh, what is that? Say loud. What she said? What she said? Huh? Bulbul? Well, it's not Bulbul. Anybody from that side? Oh, what they said? What did it say? Huh? Nightingale. It is not nightingale. What? Oh, what he said? Red parrot? You don't have to laugh. Everybody, see, this is the thing. You know, the kids may do mistakes, but don't make fun of them. Okay. Because you will do next time the same mistake and everybody will laugh. So don't do it. Okay? That's fine. Bulbul, somebody said, nightingale is same thing as bulbul probably. And anymore, some people say hudhud. And what? Double it. Cardinal. Googled it, picture. Ah, my God, this goes in the. Okay. Who said that? But you know, who said it? Who Googled it? Raise your hand. I will give you 100 rupees. Raise hand. Okay, come here. Come here. Come. Quick, quick, quick. I have to. अरे भाग क्या हो भाई? Come on, fast. Okay. I will ask one question. Did you Google it? Say yes. Honesty. This is for honesty. Why? You know what? I always play tricks. How to make you attentive and focused. This is the way I even taught. I have taught more than 3 hours. Everybody is smiling. Nobody went to sleep. You know why? I'm going to show you. I will show you at the end the trick of the trade. And this trade is education business. Right? So this is a cardinal. Why you were not able to tell? Because you did not develop that neuronal connections. Every time you have something new, seen, felt, heard, taste, and new connections will be developed. Got it? Everybody's with me? So when the kids learn with more senses, more stronger connections are developed. So much neuroscience, so much. And we are not teaching right to our students. And you also suffered. We as faculty members suffered when we were students. And let's not make our future generations suffer. Listen to me. Everything has changed. New revolution has occurred in education system. You will love it when this is it. Education, teaching, and learning has become my hobby. You will enjoy a lot. I know that you didn't get into medical seat, so you became BA, you did BL, and became a teacher. Isn't it? And of course, it pays more money too nowadays. So, cardinal, the first time the bird comes and perches on a tree, the kid, thank you, kids, the little kid will say, Mama, that is a bird. Yes, son, that is a bird because it flies. And now it is perching on a branch. Okay. And what's the name? Then Mama says, cardinal. How do you say? Cardinal. Spell out. That's how the kid, every time the kid is saying car, a new connection is there. Null. After few months, this word comes again. And those neuronal connections are activated. And the kid will say, Mama, look at that word. It came back again. It's red. Make it cardiac. Heart is red, isn't it? And it has blood. That's why it's red. That's why it's called cardinal. You correlate the terminologies, you will memorize that. Okay? And suppose for 1 year it didn't come. Now, those connections which have appeared disappear. And the kid will have problem in remembering this. Got it? Everybody is with me on that side? So, what does it teach us? If you teach somebody a new knowledge, it will disappear soon. And for that reason, this is very important. You know, a lot of people have dementia, Alzheimer. Why? Because they are not learning new things. You keep new things learning, then you will have no dementia. University graduates have 40% more dendritic material than high school dropouts. And they will not have as much Alzheimer as those high school dropouts. So if you do not want to develop a forgetting disease or dementia or Alzheimer, you better study more. Okay, if you are high school, do graduation. If you did graduation, do post-graduation. And in nursing homes in United States, we give them some brain work. What? Puzzles. Those elderly people, they do puzzles. You know, like cross puzzles. And there is one alphabet missing in that. So they do it just to stimulate the brain. Got it? Now, I'm going to skip so many things. Well, here is the human brain. This is the dog brain. What is the difference here? Can anybody tell? What is the difference? There is something is missing here, which is this. This is frontal brain. All the higher functions of human being, even the speech, is from, you think. All the cognitive higher functions are from the frontal brain. That's why you have forehead. Okay? And all the animals have flat forehead. See how flat? Because they don't have that forebrain or frontal brain, which is blue here. Okay? So that is the seat of your intelligence, your calculation, your predicting something, accountability, all that comes from here. And this part of the brain is not much developed in teenagers, adolescents. Well, you got something, paper in your hand. Is that the certificate? You have to evaluate me. Oh, don't give me a bad score, okay? No more bad scores. Otherwise, I will do a bad job now. Keep doing this. Okay. So the myelination, I remember I mentioned about the myelination. Teenagers' neurons in this area of higher functions have no myelination to less myelination. So they do not understand. If you tell your teenager, suppose you are a dad and you went away for a trip, and at home, mother says, don't take his motorbike. Don't take his motorbike. You know what that teenager will do? Well, mom is sleeping, take the keys, drive, and not only drive, he crashes that bicycle and accident, and mom will say, oh my God, why did you do that? Didn't you know that this will happen? He doesn't have, he cannot foresee the outcome. Why? Because the frontal brain is not myelinated. When does it myelinate? When he crosses 20, sometimes 21, 23, 24. Okay? So let's go. Oh, you know who is this? 100 rupee. Again, don't Google it. Who is on the right side? What? Say somebody, repeat that, what he said. Darwin? Aye. Come. Come, it's okay. No, no, no. He said, aye. And what did Darwin said? We were chimpanzees, isn't it? And chimpanzee is thinking with his no frontal brain, why this guy is so great? Because he has frontal brain. Okay? Got it. And I'm not going to go in all these. Okay, this is good. After this, I will go over 2 more slides, and that will teach you a lot. Okay? So this is the cross section of the brain. You know, like you cut brain like this, and the human figure is upside down. Am I right? And what portion of the body is the largest in here? What? Say louder. Say louder. Say what? Hand. Did you say hand? No. Hand? Thigh? This one? What about this? Hand, isn't it? Good. You know why I'm showing this? The brain has more neurons for the hand, more neuronal connections for the hand. If you teach the kids, if you teach your students utilizing hand, that's why, remember what I gave you 2 words. Hands-on, inquiry-based methodology. They learn more when they do hands-on activities. Our classrooms are silent, no activity. They just listen to you. They look. Sometimes they look at you, but they dream about what mother is cooking, what that, when I go home, I will take out the soccer ball and play. Something different, because there is no hands-on activity. So this is a very important. And another thing which is a little bigger is this. That is tongue. Because we move, and probably meat is the largest one. But usually people say, that tongue is large with women. Is it right? There are people like me who talk a lot. So my tongue must be in the place of hand. All right, let's go. This is a very important slide. Take the picture if you want. What we call is window of opportunity. window of opportunity, if you see this on the left side is prenatal and this side is postnatal. Prenatal before birth, postnatal after birth, neonatal and newborn. Got it? Simple. Now, motor development starts prenatal because the child moves in the womb of mother. You can actually see, I have seen, like they move. You could actually see the movement, abdominal movement, okay? So they start moving their legs, hands, and sometimes they move so that the cord gets tangled up in the neck and the fetus may die. So that is because of the movement. It is natural, but that happens rare. All right? And then look at this. Vocabulary. What is vocabulary? Your language. It is developing before the child is born. I'm going to tell you one thing now. Everybody pay attention. Well, those people who are distributing, they are collecting the papers. Okay. How does vocabulary develop before even birth? Can anybody tell? Another 100 rupees. You cannot Google now. Okay. How does vocabulary is with the language. How does it develop? By hearing who? Huh? Surrounding. Somebody said hear something. From where? Bolo. Hello. Huh? Parent? Why are you not saying mother? When I speak, the voice is conducted through my body, not only in the air, but you are right, parents. Who is that? Come on. Jaldi aao. Come fast. So the mother tongue plays an important role in vocabulary. So basic vocabulary is developed in the mother tongue. So now I'm going to ask a question. Is mother's lab the first school or womb is the first school? Yes. Mother's uterus or the womb is the first school. And the kids learn not only before the birth, but after the birth until the kid is in the surrounding of mother, father, siblings, and around the neighborhood. The environment that speaks the same language, what we call native language. If it is Kannada, Kannada is the mother. Up till 6th, if the kid is admitted in the school, in first grade, until 6th year, he learn Kannada. So which school you should send? Say, which school? Mother tongue is Kannada. You have to send to Kannada school. What we do? We send this kid English medium. Oh my God, these people suffered. That's why they say, I suffered a lot. Believe me, I was running away from the school because it was in foreign language. If you say dissolve, The kid will dissolve anything. You took the water, something you want them to dissolve. Never heard. Neither mother said anything about dissolve, nothing. If you say in Kannada, mix mari, oh, mix is English too. Am I right? We are punishing our students. We are crazy people. Why we are not prospering, why we are not advancing? Because we are not sending our kids in mother tongue schools. This is the tragedy. Italians are studying in Italy, their language. Everybody knows, Finland, all the YouTube. There are a lot of things in Finland going on. They are excellent. Their scores, international scores are high. Why? They are learning in Finnish language. They are not learning in English. This is the crazy country which puts into English medium. You are spoiling your kids' lives. Neither they learn your Kannada better, nor they learn the English better. All these English medium students come to do residency in my hospital. I ask them, write a paper. You know what? They can't even write a sentence correct. I'm Urdu medium. I'm teaching them. And at the end what they said? Sir, you please write down and put my name. This is what is happening. So, the very important language and mathematics. The kids start even before he is able to speak, will know math and logic. He may not say 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, but he knows. If you tell that kid who's not speaking, go and bring me one mango, Mawin Kai, that's what they say. He will bring one. Okay? So there are so many things I'm going to skip. All right, I want to tell me how many minutes I have. Second session. Done? Over. Well, let's stop here and we will start, have tea or cup or coffee, and then we will start.